Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law, and we are going to have a wonderful show today. A couple good friends are going to talk about helping veterans who are suffering from various conditions, and we are really excited to welcome Brian Weidmiller. How you doing, Brian?
Hey, good, Jeffrey. Thanks. Nice to be here.
And Matthew Schwank. How you doing, Matt?
Doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, so anyhow, I'm going to kind of open up the floor to you guys and talk about the evolution on how your Outdoor Valor program came about and what y'all do.
So back in 2016, I was on a fishing trip down in the Keys, and we had some veterans staying in the house next to us that wanted to go fishing, and so I decided, hey, let's do that. So I put them on our boat, which it was not a very big boat, but it was still a good boat. And we went out to Marathon Hump, and we were casting topwater poppers for tuna, and just watching their face light up like mine does every time I'm out there. I came back and I looked at my wife and said, we got to do something about this. And after that, we started running fishing trips through another nonprofit called The Fallen Outdoors. And then in December, we became our own company of 2016. So now we've been here doing this for 9 years. At the beginning of what we were doing, it was just fishing trips. But then in 2018, we decided to make it more of a ministry type deal and pour into the lives of those veterans and help them get through those issues of PTSD, depression, and anxiety and all those things. So that's what we do now. We start off with an offshore trip. We usually go out there when it's like a lake, so nobody gets hurt or beat up. And that's kind of the icebreaker. And it works because a combat vet would rather go fishing than sit down and talk to a psychiatrist that's never seen a day inside of a combat zone or never stepped foot in there, and all they want to do is push drugs, and that's not what we do. So we go take them fishing, see where they are mentally. We have some on a regular basis that we take on a regular basis. We have the First Mate program where it's one soldier that first mates the boat for the entire year, and they have to ride in the truck with me everywhere we go, so they have to, we pour into them that way. We also do inshore trips, so it's one-on-one where we're talking all day, for the entire day, and half the time with those inshore trips, I mean, halfway through it, we're not even fishing. We're sitting on the front of the boat with our feet in the water, just talking through all the issues that they face. So that's in a nutshell what we do, and we have a lot that's on the board for next year or for this year, what we're planning to do to help veterans in a whole different way.
Well, that's fascinating. How do you run all this and also do all the other things you're involved in?
Well, this is my primary thing. I focus strictly on my brothers and sisters in arms, just because that is near and dear to my heart. Every time I try to do something else, God tells me, nope, this is what you're supposed to do. He puts his foot down and says, nope, this is where you're supposed to be. And it's a beautiful life to be able to help others.
And let me ask you, how are you supporting all these activities?
So we do fundraisers. We do like in 2 weeks, we have our gala coming up, which is our big fundraiser.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Our big fundraiser for the year. So we have our annual Warriors Gala. It's a black tie event. It's sold out in 2 weeks. It's going to be a really good night. So you get to hear Brian and I both speak. We have some live auctions. We have some raffles and all kinds of cool stuff that we're giving away that night.
And where is it being held?
It's being held at Making It Matthews in Ocala, Florida.
Great. And you were telling me in the fall you have another event that's huge.
Yeah, so what we're going to do this year, it's going to be called the Warriors Family Cookout. So my vision for this is we're going to do it at our one of our church partners that has a lot of space. We're going to have bounce houses, cookouts, food trucks, all kinds of things. There'll be raffles. And a lot of cool things, and a lot of our veterans will get to mingle and meet with other veterans and local supporters, and some of our donors will be there to meet those guys as well. I think it'll be a really cool event.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I know you guys have been, helping a lot of people over the years. Matt, how did you get involved?
Excuse me. So I've known Matt since 2000.
Did I say Matt?
I know what you meant.
Brian.
I know what you meant.
Hey, I'm looking at Matt.
Well, cut scene.
Yeah.
So I met Matt in 2008 in a Bible study at Trinity, and then I was going into the military at that time. I went in, got a couple years later, got into the automotive field, started doing that, and we do a lot of community outreach. Matt decided that it'd be important for Outdoor Valor to have me on the board, and so they selected me for the president role, and so we've been expanding since.
Well, I know you're in the automotive business, and you were telling me a little bit earlier about it. What are first of all, Brian, tell me what about your automotive business? Tell me how
So
that
my
happened.
automotive is in downtown Ocala, Florida, just off of the square on 8th Avenue, 14th Street. We deal with anything that the dealership can handle. So from new cars to old cars, I've seen old 50s trucks in there to brand new 25s, SUVs. We can do anything: maintenance, repairs, whole engines. But really, the foundation of what we do, we're an automotive shop, but we give back to the community. And that's our goal, to give back.
And you were telling me earlier that you partner up with certain charities or agencies to help veterans get back on the road.
Yes, and so there's the Ritz in downtown Ocala is also a shelter for veterans in the process of either homelessness or a version of that. And what they do also is they provide vehicle repairs for these veterans so that they can maintain jobs. And so yes, we partner with them, and we match their donation. When they give $1,200 to a repair, we match that as well.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, the fact is, it's really, really important, particularly where, you're in North Central Florida. We don't have tons of public transportation, and you need a car, right? Yeah.
Gainesville is pretty nice. You guys have it pretty set up here, but Ocala is very small. It's very minute compared to the UF transportation here.
Yeah, I know. We have our names on all the buses.
Yes, I've seen them. It looks great.
But, they banned billboards here about 30 years ago, and that's
did
why
they?
we don't have very many billboards here. And the signage was more regulated and stuff, whereas in Marion County, it's like 14 billboards on every intersection. It's like, whatever. It's the Wild West.
Nobody needs to see this.
No problem. So let's talk some more about veteran initiatives in Marion County, and what are some things that are going on? Give us, an idea of how many veteran groups there are and what those that are listening and watching can do to help.
Absolutely, and there's probably dozens. I could say, Matt, you'll have the actual numbers. I'm sure he usually does, but they range from homelessness prevention to suicide awareness, helping veterans from traumatic experiences that they're going through, sort of like the suicide hotline, and vehicle issues. Obviously, we talked about. There's a wide expansion of even a new program with the CEP called VetNet, where we get together and we sort of we lobby our support in the veteran community towards a direction of sorts.
Well, that's awesome because Marion County has a very strong veterans community.
Very strong donation community too. I heard some numbers from the Give for Marion that Marion County is one of the highest towns or areas in Florida that give more than some of the bigger cities.
Per capita,
Yeah,
everybody's
absolutely. Do you know that
in.
stat, Matt?
And,
Yeah, I think we're second. I think it was Fort Myers or something that was Fort Myers, Sarasota area that was the highest, and that's what our community foundation is striving to beat every year, because we've been so Gift for Marion's been doubling every year that it's been in existence. So,
well, if the folks want to help Outdoor Valor, how do they get a hold of y'all?
So if they want to help us out, they can go straight to our website, outdoorvalor.org, and you can learn all about what we are and what we do. There's a donate tab there. Also, our Facebook page is regularly updated with all of our trip photos and sponsors and everything that's really going on. And that's, outdoor or facebook.com/outdoorvalor. So
Yeah, maybe we can find someone to donate a big fishing boat.
that is one of our big asks for this year, because Right now, I have a fairly decent list of wheelchair-bound veterans that I cannot get out with the vessel that I have.
Oh,
So we
okay.
can get them into the boat,
Right.
But then they have nowhere to sit, nowhere to
Right.
with
I
their
can't
wheelchair.
wheel them around with what I have now. If I can get something that's 30 to 34 foot, 9 to 10 feet wide, center console, either monohull or catamaran. Catamaran would probably be the most safe and stable for that kind of job. But and even past the wheelchair bound veterans, I can put more people on the boat. Like right now, I put 3 to 4, when I can put 6. Once we get a larger vessel.
Well, listeners, viewers, let's talk to your friends. Maybe somebody's got a big boat out there that they can donate. Now, can they donate it to the organization and
Be a complete tax write-off. As
a
well.
tax write-off? Besides doing something good in your life, you can also get a tax write-off. What a great idea!
Yeah, and what's cool about us at this point, still 9 years into it, we have no paid staff. So all of our donations are straight into the boats and fishing and programs that we offer.
So it's 100%,
Correct.
which is amazing, So, what are some other things that people might have that the organization could use?
So one of my other big asks, I would like to find a place up in Georgia that's got 2, 3, 4, 500 acres and a house. And why do you ask that? So in January, I can plan every weekend, so 3 or 4 day weekends for retreats for these veterans, hunting retreats, or just retreat out in the woods and be, in some solitude. And with our staff, we can pour into them for 4 days in a row versus just 12, 14 hours on a boat. And that'll make a huge difference because, like I said, we can plan it out for the whole year, where typically on our fishing trips, you may have a 5-day heads up when it comes to that. And not everybody can drop everything and go, but that's just based on the size vessel we have and our weather window and what we're capable of doing.
Well, so if somebody already has a lodge established, could they donate it for a week or 2 at a time?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. We have another ask here. This is a good one because there's lots of people from north central Florida that go up to Georgia and Alabama and places to go fish.
Not to cut you off, sorry. I think there's some hunting camps here too in Florida. Anywhere in this region would be ideal.
Yeah, well, that would be great. You're talking about, being able to connect with veterans who are challenged by.
Right.
What are some of the conditions that the vets you work with typically have?
So a lot of them, since I've hyper-focused in on combat vets with PTSD, are having repeated thoughts, nightmares, flashbacks. And the crazy thing is all it is you hear a sound, you see a smell, or just something, or in a lot of cases for the Iraq veterans, a trash bag on the side of the road, and they'll have a flashback, a dead dog or dead animal on the side of the road, that sends a flashback. And the reason why that is because the enemy would put IEDs and EFPs in those trash bags or in those bodies, those animals' carcasses, and you would drive by and just go kaboom. And, you would lose friends, and it just absolute horror and mayhem that comes out through all of that.
These are hard trigger points that I think the new modern age version is call them triggers, right? And so anything that brings up a memory or a stage of something that was traumatic, these trigger points happen all the time.
And what are some of the techniques or therapies that you all use to try to work with vets to get past some of these?
So what I like to do is I've got quite a few special fishing holes that I can show you some video if you want to watch it. It's less than 60 seconds and you're hooked up to a massive grouper. So what I like to do with those guys that want to talk about that and bring it up is we'll start talking about that. And what I'm trying to do is overlap a different memory on top of that memory while you're talking to me about it, because you can't focus on pain and trauma while having a mindset of gratitude and appreciation and greatness of what's going on. That, holy crap, I'm talking about this, and all of a sudden I've got a 30-inch grouper trying to pull me out of the boat, and it's always a lot of fun. Well, and I always have guys contact me weeks and months after. Dude, I can't stop thinking about that fish that I caught, and I'm not really worried about what what's going on with the PTSD, and it was just kind of. I almost want to call it thought replacement, but I have no idea what I would name it.
Coin the term.
Yeah, I'm not a medical physician or anything like that. So.
You heard it first.
No, well, you guys are right on, because there's only so much that drugs and therapy can do,
right?
Whereas life experience can sometimes change, turn the person around even a little bit, right? I mean, it's not gonna happen like instantaneously where the PTSD just goes away.
Right.
But what you're doing is help refocusing it on positive.
Refocusing on positive, creating new neurons in your brain, and it's interesting you brought up the medication and stuff like that. That's our big project we're doing this year. It's called Operation Fresh Start, where we're going to pay for our veterans to go through one of our providers for 12 months. And that's a comprehensive metabolic panel to see everything that's going on inside your body as far as vitamins, minerals, hormones, and then our doctors will prescribe you to a stasis level. And what ends up that I've seen, because I went through it with another nonprofit that put me through it 6 years ago, and what they've seen and what I've personally seen in other veterans' lives is once you get to that stasis level, it takes a little while. All that stuff that the VA prescribes you, which they like to overprescribe. I was on 13 different drugs at one point.
Wow.
And 3 of them were black boxed. They weren't supposed to be taken together. But that being said, now I take a blood pressure medicine and some vitamins.
And that's it.
That's it.
Gosh, I need to get on your regimen. I spend 20 minutes every night trying to figure out which pills to take. But most of what I take are vitamins and stuff like that. I'm like, as I got older, I said, I need this vitamin or that vitamin. But it's interesting because maybe, the veteran regime as far as over-medication, because we have a large veteran hospital here in Gainesville, and I've worked with psychiatrists over at the vet hospital here over the years, and I think traditional psychiatry is all oriented towards medical care, medical, medicine.
Right.
And so what you're saying is like the medicine is often overprescribed and counterproductive.
So they'll prescribe you one drug. Well, you're having side effects from that one. Then they'll give you another one, and then another one, and then it just snowballs down the hill. Now, I take it really personally because two of the men in my combat unit have died from being overprescribed from the VA, and there's no recourse for them. There's no recourse for the VA, and it's frustrating. But if we as veterans can come together and figure out a better way to take care of ourselves, then that's going to be the best option. And what's cool also with Operation Fresh Start is we talked about outside. They're going to get 10 weeks of counseling through Divine Intervention Counseling in Ocala. And if you're not local, we have them set up to do the telemedicine appointments.
Which is great.
It'll be awesome.
After COVID now, everybody started saying, oh, telemedicine is great, compared to waiting 2 days or 3 days to get in. You're sick and you feel like crap and you want to see your doctor, and they say, oh, I'll get you in 3 days. By the time 3 days come, you're already on the mend, And
you're sitting in a waiting room getting other people sick.
Yeah, right. It's funny because in our legal practice, we were innovative as far as telemedicine 10 years ago. And
Meldon Law.
Yeah, Meldon
Awesome.
Law. Yeah, we were working with doctors and encouraging them to do telemedicine for those things where you could do telemedicine. And there was a lot of resistance to it because they go, oh, well, there's nothing like the hands-on of a doctor in the room, right?
Sure.
And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and it's amazing the change in attitude that doctors are going, oh, we're getting as good a results, and we get to see the patients so much more quickly than before. And, my new deal with my doctors is I ask them for their cell phone, and I text them if I got the flu or something, I'll go, Doc, I got the flu. I'm feeling like crap. What can you do? And he'll text me back. And it's similar with telemedicine, right? Where you can actually communicate more quickly and effectively with telemedicine. So I'm very glad to hear that. What are some other initiatives and things going on as far as the medical care for vets?
So, like I said, that our doctors, we have two. They're both doing the telemedicine. So, if we have a veteran in Kentucky, which we do have a group that sends another nonprofit that sends 20 of them down every summer. So, if they wanted to take part of that program, then they're more than welcome to. In that program right now, as it states, it's looking like it's going to be about $3,000 per veteran. So if any of the listeners out there that want to donate to sponsor a veteran to go through that life-changing experience, please get on our website or contact me directly, and we can get you scheduled.
And what's it called again?
Operation Fresh Start.
And tell us a little bit about how it works.
So, like I said, your first visit, you're going to probably have about 15 different vials of blood pulled, and then they're going to look at every vitamin, mineral, and hormone that's in your body to see what needs to be brought to a certain level. Because there's a level of stasis where you're supposed to be, and a lot of us, with being overprescribed from the VA, our labs are all over the place as far as our vitamins and hormones. And I found that most guys, even in their like me when I started when I was 34 years old, and I had testosterone in 100 I think it was 180.
What's that mean?
That just means that's the testosterone level of a man that's probably 65, 70 years old.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of those things that you feel sluggish, you're tired, you feel depressed and mopey, and you can't get off the couch and all those kind of things. Once you bring all those levels up to stasis where they're supposed to be, where God intended our bodies to be, you're going to feel a lot better. Not saying that you don't need certain medications. I mean, if you get to that point where you feel like you don't need them, that's on them. That's not us, requiring them or asking them to do any of that. So, I mean, it's a really cool thing. Brian kind of does it on his own right now. I've been doing it for a while. We've got one that we're helping pay out of our own pockets to get him through some of this stuff as well until we get the program launched.
Well, it's very interesting because there is over-medication, because that's how the medical community, those were some of the tools that they had. And on the other hand, it's gotten to the point now where the medicines interact, and it can really cause you to go even lower than wherever you were, if you're not getting good medicine. And most of the time, there's alternatives to taking heavy meds.
Right. I mean, once you get all those vitamins and minerals in your body that your body is craving, like if you're dealing with a lot of pain, turmeric is really great for it, but you have to have high quality. It can't just be stuff you get at Walmart. You can't get it from Walmart. So what we use is called Pure Encapsulations. They're a FDA-approved vitamin and regulated company. So they're very high-quality stuff, and I can promise you, after a few days of taking it, you're gonna start to notice things that were aching and hurting that are going to start to feel a little bit better. Not saying it's all going to go away.
Right.
All the issues are never going to go all the way away, no matter what you do, no matter what you're prescribed. It's just a matter of getting your brain to accept a lot of that and being able to live with that certain amount of pain and stuff like that. But as far as the depression and PTSD stuff, that can all be worked through, with our discipleship type stuff. So
so more therapy, less medicine.
Right.
Obviously, if the doctor says something, then go with them, of course. But the goal is to get people back to communicating, expressing their issues. Some of the medicine that they used to prescribe to me said, take it for 2 weeks. You'll start feeling something by 4 weeks. Don't stop it dramatically because you'll have suicidal ideologies afterwards. all right, that's super exciting. I'm going to do that. All right, that's the first thing I'm going to do. So, you get enough of those prescribed to you, and it just doesn't make sense. You can't get out of that cycle of not taking or taking it. And so as I said, the barracks room therapy that we offer on the boats, where men and women can just be open and just very transparent with their issues.
I'm very excited about that because intuitively it makes sense that medicine has its role. So I don't want to have a bunch of people call and saying we're crazy. Medicine has its roles. It's just that there's other opportunities, particularly for veterans that have been through traumatic events, where they really want to be able to have positive experiences. And what you said earlier about sometimes breaking the cycle, there may be vets that just don't have a lot of social interaction, and getting around people that have positive thoughts and positive ideas to, let's get involved in this, let's work on this, let's do this, can have miraculous effects sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, because when we get out, we lose that brotherhood, right? And a lot of folks, civilians don't understand that. So those men and women that we stood next to, especially our combat soldiers, those guys that we stood next to, we were fighting for each other. I mean, those people would take a bullet for you. And then one day you get out of the military and you get sent back home to your hometown, and guess what? It just doesn't click. Our brains don't mesh the way, a civilian meshes sometimes. And it's difficult for them to get through that transition. And I always say that the military spends millions and millions of dollars training us how to kill. You know how much money they spend training us how to reintegrate?
Very little.
If any. I had no reintegration training when I got out.
Well, part of the military is that you have to retrain someone's brain to be in a military situation, particularly a combat, obviously, right? And your brain is retrained, and then all of a sudden you're put back into a civilian situation, and it's a completely different situation than you're used to. So, my massage therapist was in Vietnam, and he tells me stories about it. He survived. He figured out he was going to be the helicopter mechanic.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't exactly, but he had to fly sometimes into the combat zones and things like that to rescue people and stuff. And but we talk a lot, and he tells me, this is 55 years ago.
And it's still fresh on his mind.
I mean, he'll just tell me stories about what it was like being in a combat area, and that they'd be working on repairing a helicopter, and all of a sudden the sirens would go off and bombs would start coming in, and you just run for shelter and wait till it stops, and then you just go back to work, and that's not normal. Unless you're
on like a heightened sense of alert on all times.
Yeah.
There's certain sounds that will set us off. I mean, like our Global War and Terror veterans, they had a PA system that would say incoming, 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 and certain alarms and stuff will make me think of that, and it's interesting. I mean, and what's cool, every time we meet a Vietnam veteran, I always tell them welcome home. Because we all know what happened to those guys when they came home. They were spit on and told they were baby killers and all those other things. And so if you out there know a Vietnam veteran, please give them a big hug.
Yeah. They really were in a tough situation because they weren't honored the way they should have been. I mean, they were guys that volunteered and they went and they were told what to do and they did it, and and it was like, well, we weren't the president or we weren't the senators or whoever was voting on that stuff. We just were serving our country.
Right.
And so I think hopefully this country has come around, to honor vets, the way they should be. And I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Let's wrap it up by again talking about what people can do. I know number one, we need a 30 to 35 center council boat. It will be a tax deduction. And how do they call you or contact you to donate this boat?
You can email me directly at matt@outdoorvalor.org, or my direct line is 352-857-7157.
Okay, and then we need a hunting camp in Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Anybody that has a hunting camp, even for a week or two, would be awesome. And same way. Do you have a website for Outdoor Valor?
Yeah, it's outdoorvalor.org.
Outdoorvalor.org. And then we're sold out on the event coming up in a couple weeks. However, we have one coming up in the fall. And when is that? You know?
We don't have an exact date set just yet. We're trying to get through this one, but it's going to be in October.
Okay. And what's that going to be, the theme of that event?
It's just a Warrior Family Cookout. So we're just going to try to get everybody together, all the veterans, and hang out. Bring your family, your kids. Like I said, there'll be bounce houses and fun games and things to do. There'll be raffles, and it'll be a really fun event.
Where this month's gala is meant to build funds for the year to support the veterans. This the October one will be to give back to the veterans.
Well, listen, we're very honored to have you here. Thank you very much. And I can tell you that we'll continue to support Outdoor Valor and other veterans organizations in North Central Florida because we consider it an honor to be able to help. And for those of us that are in the legal profession, if we're fortunate enough to be able to be successful, then we want to give back to the community. And there's nothing that makes me happier than to have gentlemen like yourselves on the show, doing great things. Brian, donating money to help get the vets' cars fixed and getting them to their work and jobs is invaluable. And if anybody wants to donate good working cars, we can take some good working cars, right?
Yeah, we do that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we donate them back.
And so whatever you guys want to do to help out there would be great. Spread the word. You never know. Somebody may be listening to this and just spark an idea to help. So just go to outdoorvalor.org and see what we can do to help. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you. And Brian, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and we'll be back in just a few minutes on Meldon Law and Friends with our community events section.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
you again!
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Somebody hit us!
Here we go again. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law. And if you know anyone that's been involved in a serious accident and their lives have been turned upside down, or they need help in some way to try to figure out how to solve the insurance situation, give us a call, 352-373-8000, or go to meldonlaw.com. What's going on in the community? Meldon Law is hiring. We need we need attorneys, paralegals, case managers, event coordinators, and interns at Meldon Law. We're growing really rapidly. We went from 15 team members to 40 team members in a period of 5 years, and we're still growing, serving North Central Florida community, I-75 from the Georgia line down to the villages. So give us a call, and we will be glad to help. Actually, we're serving the entire state of Florida now. We've had a branch down in Fort Lauderdale since 2017, and we are serving people in Jacksonville, Daytona, Orlando, Tampa, wherever you are. Meldon Law is here to help. A couple other things going on. Ticket giveaway. So baseball is starting. The Gator baseball team is awesome. We're taking on the Miami Hurricanes in 3 weeks. What a series. It's a 3-game series, and you're going to get 2 great seats. The tickets we've been getting are terrific. The Condren Family Ballpark is awesome. It's got about 5,000 seats in it, and it is wonderful. What a fun time. So if you want seats for the whole series, all you have to do is follow Meldon Law on Facebook or Instagram, and then like the post, and it'll tell you what to do, and it's going to be great. So go ahead and check us out on Meldon Law on Facebook and Instagram. And there's lots of other tickets that we're giving away all the time. Lady Gators softball team, #1 in the country. They got a freshman in, and the first week that she played on the team, she hit 5 home runs, a freshman. So the talent level is just off the charts. And it's kind of neat. The men's baseball stadium's right across the street from the women's softball stadium, and sometimes we go back and forth from one to the other. So check it out. The weather's awesome this time of the year. Let's support what's going on at the University of Florida softball and baseball. Tonight, big event. For those of you that are listening live, the Gainesville Chamber of Commerce is having our big racing experience out at the Gainesville Raceway. This is Gator Nationals Week. For those of you that don't know, the #1 drag racing event in the world is right here in Gainesville this coming week. We're going out. After the show, we're heading out to the Raceway for a big chamber event, and Meldon Law's going to have the Wheel of Fortune and tabling and giving away fun swag for everybody. Another thing, Waltz Break and more. Listen to this. Waltz Break and More has been serving Ocala for over 60 years, and the Ocala business leaders are having an outdoor networking event. So check it out. The Chamber of Commerce is doing the ribbon cutting from 4 to 5, and then there's a networking event. It's fun from 5 to 7. Okay, Lake City, a rodeo, March 7th to the 9th. Check it out. March 7th, 8th, and 9th, out at the fairgrounds in Lake City. The Pro Rodeo is a sanctioned rodeo handled, the PRCA sanctioned rodeo is held annually at the Florida Gateway Fairgrounds Rodeo Arena in Lake City. So they're going to have bareback steer wrestling, team roping, saddle, bronc, barrel racing, tie-down roping, and bull riding. Wow, there's going to be fun. So take the kids out there, man. They will love it. What a blast. A couple other things. Oh, the men's basketball team is rocking. They're ranked number 3 in the country as of today. They have a big game tonight at Mississippi State. And if you want tickets for the Gator basketball games, just go to Meldon Law Facebook page or Instagram. We are donating $19.71 to the Ronald McDonald House Charities for every free throw made by both the men's and women's basketball team. There's still 4 games left in Gainesville, so you can see one of the top basketball teams in the country here for 4 more games. Check it out. It is fun. Other things going on. Lady Gator Gymnastics. I think they're ranked number 3 in the country this week. Wow. If you want to see Olympic caliber gymnastics, I mean, 5 of the team members on the Lady Gator Gymnastics team may be going to the Olympics. This is a chance to see it in person, so check it out. Anyhow, that's what's going on in our community. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week on a live edition of Meldon Law and Friends.